Hello and welcome to my series on deconstructing Weber, which is a continuation of my Deconstructing Brahms series. It's where I look at major works of the clarinet repertoire, take them apart bar by bar, and just chat about what I think about these pieces and how I would play them. Now I recognise that this is only my opinion of what I think these pieces should sound like. Your teacher may have a completely different view, you may have a different view, and there's absolutely nothing wrong in that. Although I should stress I don't want 10,000 clarinetists in a year's time all playing the Weber just as I would, but I hope that I give you enough insight into the piece to formulate your own ideas on how you want these pieces to be played, and I'm certainly no substitute for a good teacher. Now, talking about the Weber Grand Duo Concertante. This is certainly my favourite piece of the clarinet repertoire. Weber is one of my favourite clarinet composers because he combines the virtuosity of the clarinet part. He taxes other aspects of clarinet technique as well. I know someone sort of commented on YouTube that they found Weber, the Grand Duo, quite easy, but they couldn't play the fast staccato. Well, the fast staccato is something that's very integral, I think, to Weber. In Mozart, you can get away with a little bit more slurring, but Weber, the brilliance of his writing and the way he knows how to play, how to write for the clarinet, makes the staccato just as important as the finger technique. And this piece is incredible. I think it's one of the finest chamber music pieces of the clarinet repertoire, in that the piano part is fiendishly hard. And it is the equal of the clarinet part. It is a true 50-50 marriage between the clarinet and the piano. And think about Weber, he's an opera composer. He writes with a lot of flair. You know, opera is just very dramatic and over the top. And I think this piece is, well, it does have its very dramatic moments here and there. I think they're interspersed with just sparkling passages of technique and staccato. It really is an incredible clarinet work. Certainly, probably my favourite. Actually, I have a recording of myself playing this. I would have uploaded it in August last year because I did this piece for my licentiate diploma with Trinity College London, and the examiner was quite stunned. I have it up here actually. I saved the examination report, and I'll just read what the examiner said. The recital was completed by a stunning performance of the Weber Grand Duo. The total technical control of the virtuosic writing is not normally heard away from the professional soloist platform where the performance undoubtedly belonged. The control was matched by all the musical and stylistic concepts one would associate with a concert artist. And I do encourage you to hunt out that recording of mine on YouTube. It's on kathywilliamsdevries. But let's come to this analysis and Music -1. And you'll find that the Music -1 recording is a little bit slower than I would like to take it. But then again, I had a pianist called Mitchell Lee who is just an absolute dream. He's one of the better accompanists I've worked with, and I've been working with him for about 20 years. and his technical control of the Weber is just amazing, because you've got to remember that while the clarinet's in F major, the piano's in E flat major. And I read somewhere that the piano part, Weber himself was a pianist, and he had these absolutely huge hands, and you know, he wrote the piano part as something he could play, and you've got these massive runs of thirds going down the instrument, and you know, if you haven't got quite as big a hands as Weber, it's a little bit tricky. Okay, so what we need with this piece is good solid tone, very flexible tone, because you want it very light in some respects, and a lightning fast staccato, and very, very light. But also that that's a matter of opinion too, because in some places you want the staccato really chunky. Okay, now let's get into the analysis. Now, I think the piece starts as it means to continue. The piano's into it immediately, and you really have to catch the piano at the top. Let's just have a listen to the first bit of the piano part. Okay, so you're already Weber's into it. Now here, the dynamic marking I've got is double forte crescendoing down, and that's quite true. You want to crescendo down to the E, because obviously that E is not going to be as loud as the B flat. Now, you don't want to be too tight. You don't want to have too tight a jaw for this. And you want, in this case, you want a really punchy staccato. But now, in this particular passage, you want a really, really light tongue, and don't breathe between the notes. Because if you do it in the one breath and just the lightest tonguing, it'll sound great. So. You want that really warm at the end. So the phrase, well, so the first bit after the first pause, so let's try that with the piano. And you can see already the huge contrast. I mean, you start at a double forte, and then the next bar you're at a mezzo piano. And it's a completely different feel. It's, you know, a really sort of chunky, ballsy kind of sound, and then the lightest of phrases. But here we go. This is going to be a great ride. You've really got to catch it, because all the piano is going is after the pause you've got ya-da-da, and then you're in.